Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to Why Do I Suck at Dota 2? Or something. This may or may not be the start of a new series. I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Dota lately, which is something I've wanted to do for a long time, is play Dota more regularly and actually get in some practice and get a proper amount of learning at the game. Now, I've played Dota for a long time. I used to play it back when, Warcraft 3 mods, Dota 1 days, played a bunch of that. I was very excited when League of Legends was announced, because the idea of a Dota-like game in a more modern engine was really exciting to me. I played Heroes of Newerth, and I've been in Dota 2 since, I believe, 2001, it says on my account, which, because I did go ahead and I got in, like, before the general release. I think you had to pay, like, 50 or 60 bucks to be able to play the game prior to the release. So I've been in here for a long time, but I've never played it very seriously, and I'd never played ranked before. I don't remember when ranked was introduced, but people always ask me about MMR. I was like, I don't know, I've never played ranked. But I finally started a month ago. I did my placement matches. I got placed at 3K MMR, which I felt was probably a little high for me, to be honest, given the degree of practice that I had. And miss on the arrow there. But I thought, oh, maybe I got a couple of lucky games. And indeed, that's the case. Since then, I did drop down initially to about 2,700. And since then, I've built it back up. I'm at 28 and change. I play exclusively support. I play a lot of CM, Crystal Maiden, who I'm playing in this video over here. And Clinks, are you going to be able to get one more shot? I was pretty sure we got a kill here. Excellent. Wonderful. Mostly, yeah, so a lot of Crystal Maiden that, actually, I've got a positive winning rate on her. The sample size will vary, right, especially over the course of a month versus, like, last week, where I've gotten better. Like yesterday, and this is where this video is from, I actually went 5 out of 6. Won 5 games out of 6 with Crystal Maiden. So things are going well with her. And then I play some Ogre Magi, and it doesn't go as well, but I like playing him, and he's fun. And I think he's got tons of potential, and I'm just not there. See, I'm thinking I should have... I don't know what I should have done there. We'll have a discussion about how things are going. Anyway, I'm not going to show you any games where things go well. I mean, so far things are going well here, but we're going to lose this match. I'm only going to look at videos in these things where either we lose, or we might win, but I did, or felt like I did, extremely poorly in those games. Because what would be the value in just looking at games where, things went well right from the start? Ooh, that was I just walked into an arrow there, forcing my team to sort of back up and defend me. Clinks is being pushed away from the lane, so that's going to mean fewer last hits for him. Was he checking the rune? Oh, was he? Because I've got this warded over here. He might have been considering picking up the double damage. I think there may have been a discussion in team chat about it, and then Invoker picked it up. Okay. I was worried that I'd sort of forced our Clinks out of lane for a bit. Because if you look at the last hits, you can see that Bloodseeker here, who we're laning against, actually has more last hits than our Clinks. Despite the fact that we're running a tri-lane, I eat another arrow here, and maybe I should be standing behind the creep wave at this point. Normally, I like to sort of flank. I like to do this in lane, keep a little vision over here just to check things, although we got the ward, so maybe it's redundant. The other thing to note, and I didn't know this while we were playing, but the enemy did drop a ward over here before we went for the initial bounty runes. So they've had vision over this lane. I don't think that's had a tremendous amount of influence in this particular scenario. There you go, stacking some creep camps over there. Our Pudge is actually able to do the pull through here on the lane, which is really nice. I'm not usually successful at doing that. I try. Sometimes I do, but a lot of times I end up leaking some creeps back to the lane, which doesn't really help that much. On the other hand, these guys are able to come over here and farm this, and I think we're like, Clinks, you gotta come. We've gotta... I think I was pinging pretty aggressively here. I'm like, come on, we gotta go and harass the shit out of these guys. Now, they are gonna be higher level because there's only 2 of them to split the XP as opposed to the 3 of us. Yeah, he doesn't have a hook. He's got his rot on. If we can get a kill on Val over here on the Bloodseeker, that'll put us in much better position in lane. Did I get my spell off before getting silenced? Yeah, I did. Okay, so we did get a kill on the Bloodseeker. Lions come over. Oh, no, sorry. I misinterpreted. Sorry, the screen, which, something that happens while I play as well. You'd think it'd be better during the replay situation. Now, I'm not up there. I'm not helping. Oh, I was like... Can I get something done with this? Probably not. Well, we'll be able to get a kill on the Lion, although I eat another arrow there. Now, keep in mind, if we back up here, how much time did I actually have to react to that arrow? So get that. A fair amount of time. Where was my camera? These are little things that I wanna know. Now, I mean, I call myself Old Man Reflexes for a damn good reason. You guys have watched me. You know, but I want to make sure that people know. So this is me in the camera. No, I have complete vision over here, but I was clearly locked in on that, especially since I'd moved my mouse up. You saw like the camera that jerked upwards, so I'd moved upwards to see that and got a loss there. Still, I'm less concerned about more of these skirmishes. Maybe, I don't know. If I dodge that, perhaps, but ultimately not the most significant thing there is. Let's go ahead and switch back to free camera over here and take a look. So I'm starting to see the problem in this game, actually. So the farm on our bottom lane is not so meaningful, right? Our Clinks has got 15 last hits. This Bloodseeker's up to 17. There are 3 denies, and because we're running the tri-lane, our Clinks might have not gotten as much XP, although, you know, that's more or less equalized here. But the Viper up here, Viper top, is getting tons, and right now is actually free farming. And in mid, the Earth Spirit here, sorry, Ember Spirit, different character altogether, has gotten tons. Siegfried, our mid, our Invoker, has only got 11. He does get a kill here, which is pretty huge. But what I'm going to tell you is that this Ember Spirit goes and dominates the game. He absolutely rips everyone apart for a massive, massive part of the game. They have a ward up top. I think there's a hotkey to change which Fog of War we're looking at. So they had a ward up top to give them a little bit more vision across here. So he could watch this ruin from here, right? And see people waiting around there. Really good little ward set up that way. One of the things, so I set up my initial ward over here. And since then, I've gone back and rewatched some of the TI8 games and to see where some of the pros are putting their wards. Now, it's always very dangerous to look at pro games and put too much weight in some of the actions, because some of what they do, like their initial item builds, their team compositions, how they rotate around, only works if you're pros. If you... What was that hook, man? Do I have a Q? Oh, I got the last hit there. Good. Only works if you're pros. And so you have to be really careful about just trying to copy what they do. And like, well, this must work. It's really good. Yeah. You can't do it, and your teammates can't do it. But that initial ward placement is kind of interesting. So I've been doing this to help give mid control over the rune spots so that they can see when they spawn. But I have seen that a lot more sort of warding goes on right near the lane just to give you vision across. I think I did just drop this one to sort of give high ground vision on the other thing, and I think I'm going to start doing that. In fact, what I suspect I'm going to do is before the initial bounty ward fight at the start, I think I'm going to run straight down middle and actually stick the ward probably on their side, like an offensive ward like here. What's tower range? Yeah, I can probably do that. And I suspect in my MMR bracket, I can get away with doing this like every game without penalty. But there might not be as much of an advantage of doing that. Whereas if I just put it here on our side, it would be 100% safe and bulletproof. The one advantage I like about doing what I do here is I don't put down the ward until after I pick up the... until we pick up the bounty. That way the ward has a longer lifespan. Whereas if I just ran up middle and put it down immediately, the first, well, depending on how long it takes me to get there, the first 45 seconds to a minute of the rune don't help at all in terms of seeing the other side, and it's only going to ever spotting one of the power runes. So whether or not that turns out to be super helpful, I don't know. Ember Spirit here picks up a DD. He's going to cycle around. Okay, Invoker does run back. Invoker's down by a level. He's up to 26 last hits, but Ember's got 38, closing in on 40. Viper's got 36. Okay. Now, at this point, it's clear why we lose this game. Is there something I could have done? Should I have cycled away? I probably should have had a discussion with Clinks. I mean, remember that our top lane over here, our off lane, Axe was playing, you know, solo. And in fact, is still playing solo. We can't really expect Axe to have necessarily gotten in there and gotten too much stuff. His job in a classic sort of 3-1-1 comp is just to sit around, be safe, and soak some XP. Although he's super far behind on levels. You know, Viper can deny a lot of stuff, which blocks Axe from getting any XP. Should I have encouraged my team to set up more ganks? Should I have cycled up there? Speaking of, where the hell am I right now? I ran back to base and have come back to this lane. This is super dangerous, and I'm probably going to die. Well, not too bad. At least I didn't get arrowed. Now, I think I ran too far back, because now our Clinks is going to die. That's one of the things that only comes with experience, is a proper understanding of, am I dead now? Am I 100% safe? How far back do I have to run away? Like ooh, that was very unlucky, and now we're both going to die. I think, let's jump back here. And some more, and let's go another 10 seconds. Alright, so I TP in, I come over here. Clink is actually wandering around invisible on the other side. Should I have sped up this far? I don't know. We got this. I mean, that was nice, and then I'm silenced, and I think a lot of times I'm like, I'm silenced, I can't do anything. Well, first of all, that's not true. I still have the ability to auto-attack. And I think I should have stopped right here. Although, how concerned was I about being chased? Well, I mean, Lion's dead. Sure, get the Bloodseeker. But if I had turned around right here, and I would have been able to drop... Actually, by the time I could have dropped the spell on this guy, I think it was too late. Technically, I could have frostbit him before our Clinks died, but unless Clinks ran and put some distance between him instantly, I think he would have been dead anyway. There's a little bit of bad luck with that arrow, because I wouldn't have been able to see it, and then I turned sort of into it. Although, honestly, I think they could have killed me even if the arrow hadn't hit. I had no creeps left. I should have ran back right away. Although running away from the tower, like if I just run this way, might have gotten me in some trouble there. But I'm less concerned with what goes on bottom. Hey, did this automatically switch over? Oh no, I might have hit a key on the keyboard as I was trying to move around. Last hit's denied. Net worth. Yeah, see, this Ember Spirit. Good God. The fact that their third position person has as much farm as our mid right now is pretty terrifying. And another gank here. Alright. So, I'm going to actually end this replay here. There's no point, I don't think there's any point or value in seeing more. There's always a chance of a comeback. In Dota, possibly more than a lot of other games. Because of how powerful a lot of abilities are, the ability to catch. I'm trying to sort of solo here. I'm like, guys, am I getting any help? I think that was my allies to blame. Well, I mean, you're still warping in, but Clink's over here. Dude. Oh, he's probably shopping. I mean, yeah, we get the kill there, but after they get me, I think I should not have died there. And maybe I could have moved, maybe I could have responded and done something else. I don't know. How do we hit the win percentage chance over here? Interesting. We were actually leading in win percentage for a while, and then it's... Alright, it starts with me getting killed. And then it's just a series of deaths, and I get killed again there. Amazingly, we had... Our win probability, they figured, was better before the that 10-minute mark. And they got vision. Now, what about my vision? I mean, I'm probably responsible for these wards. I have a massive amount of vision in the bottom jungle. Right? Possibly too much. I think my reasoning here is, I don't think I realized how bad... No, okay, that's 100% the case. At this point in the game, I had no idea how bad everything else was going. I was 100% focused on bottom lane, on trying to make things as good as possible for our Clinks. And even then, look, our Clinks is still behind the Bloodseeker. Even with me possibly, or almost certainly over-investing in attention at the bottom, it's too late. And then meanwhile, we've got a big fed Viper and a super fed Ember Spirit over here doing some thought. I mean, at this point, we're finally rotating up there. I'm way under level, but that's pretty par for the course for me in general, which might mean, you know, I've got to make some more changes. Just because I'm support, just because I like to play sort of position 5, right? I like to have the lowest, you know, I'm perfectly comfortable being at the lowest farm priority. All I need on Crystal Maiden, really once I get my Tranquil Boots, I'm very pleased. And then as a bonus, you know, get a Glimmer Cape. That's going to be good too. But other than that, I'll spend all my money on wards. I don't give a crap, you know. There's 3 of them over here. I mean, Riptide does show up. He was pretty low leveled as well. Again, we were splitting our XP, but at this point, it hardly matters. You know, there's always a chance of a comeback, but in this case, is there really? They have 3 people ahead of our top person in farm, and almost doubling on their top one. So I think what we'll do is we'll wrap this one up here. And actually, this has been a short enough video. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to load up another replay. What's the fastest way to get to, like, my full list of stuff? I don't know. We got this. If I click here, it's a win, win, win. Loss. But there's another... Sometimes I want to look at a win that I did poorly at. Tell you what, though. I'm going to load up this Crystal Maiden game. I have no idea what this looks like at all. I download this. Decompress. I did die 10 times, which actually isn't as much as everyone else on my team. I have a crazy fed Jug on this one. I have vague memories of this one, specifically of the, what's his name? The Phoenix there, which actually, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure, if you went back and looked at the video, I'm pretty sure there's someone with a lot of levels on their... Oh, no, no, I'm wrong. There's another Phoenix game where they had tons of levels on there. These levels indicate how many, like, basically how often someone plays these characters. All right, we have one guy who's named I Only Play Earth Spirit. It may surprise you to hear that he's playing as Earth Spirit over here. So we lose this one. Starting stuff here. Oh, I recall this one. I failed to get the tangos up on the Necrophos during the strategy phase. I believe I'm realizing that, yet. And I'm going to turn here, and I'm in party chat or voice chat, one or the other, and telling the Necro, oh, I got some tangos for you, buddy. And he's going to turn around. Yeah, right there. Boom, boom. I give him a couple of tango shots. There we go. All right. This sort of delay doesn't really cost us anything. So in this bracket, again, people, there's some invades for bounties. It happens, I don't know, I guess about 50% of the time, it's mostly just like each side takes their bounties and that's that. And then the other 50% of the time, there's some attempt at invading from one side to another. Now, our opposition here has an Earthshaker, and I have to say, I do very poorly against an Earthshaker. And really, Earthshaker is probably someone I should just play. Because they're really powerful in general. I think Earthshaker is a very powerful character at all MMR brackets. I mean, he sees a lot of pro play, and I think he's also really good at versus noobs. But there's a part of me that's very anxious about playing a character like that, a character that can actually screw something up for other people, right? If I put down my, what's it called, the Fisher? Right? If I put down the Fisher the wrong way and I screw something up or something, I mean, that's such a stupid thing to be concerned about, and there's only one way to learn. So here you can see, we just split the bounty ruins, dun 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 dun. Mid is just there to do some creep blocking, very standard. I did not put down a ward. Oh, and this is what I do. So sometimes I do put it down, like right after the laning phase, but this was a time, this was quite intentional, I believe. I was waiting, you know, my goal is to wait until just shy of 2 minutes, and then put the ward there to make it last longer. The thing is, oh, there'll be a pause here. How do you... Is jump ahead, does it skip ahead past the pause? I don't know how far ahead that jumps. Oh, Jesus. It jumped hugely ahead. Okay, don't do that. Okay. Rewind just a scooch more. Alright. There we go. I think there's got to be a way to skip past the pause, but I don't know what it is. So Phoenix is hanging around in there. We've got the Earthshaker doing the creep block, pushing it forward. I'm trying to use the trees here to prevent vision, not make myself... So again, you can see me sort of going off on the side here, partially to peek, but I think I should probably stay closer. Now, at this point, we did get vision of the Phoenix. I'm trying to make sure to push him out of the woods. If I can get... I'm quite eager in these landing phase to get off a... Oh, he disconnected again. If I just, like... I don't know, man. Times 8, times 16. Ping, 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 ping. There we go. Alright. Yeah, I was going to say to do this. The Frostbite into attack combo. Now, this is a little unusual, because I'm used to thinking of both these guys as supports. So one of them, possibly the Shaker with this gear, yeah, is going to be playing sort of like safe lane carry build? What's the deal? So here you can see, I've left my Luna to go and drop a ward over here. Now, I do communicate that. We've got creeps around, and we've actually pushed back towards the tower. I'm not gonna claim that I considered all that when I made this move, because I didn't. Here I come back this way, which is a very scary route. We're still down on XP. Clearly, I'm assuming... See, and again, you're being harassed there. So in there, they probably got a lot more denies than we did. Our Luna here, 1 and 1. Earthshaker denied 2. And you got 1 last hit. I don't know. I mean, you've leveled up now. Now, the thing is, if I don't stay up here, the Earthshaker will be up here and will keep harassing. So, I mean, the answer, it might be something like a defensive ward in this area. You'll notice that this game and the previous game, both of them are on the Radiant side. For some reason, I have about a 70% win rate on the Dire side, and only a 35% win rate on the Radiant side. Why are we pinging here?
Crystal Maiden.
What do we... I have no idea what was going on there. I think we were having a discussion in voice chat about something, and we're staying safe for some... I don't remember what that was. But we gave up some for more free farm. You can see another... So, okay. The farm in this lane, honestly, we should be crushing this lane, because these guys are not really meant to be last-hitting monsters. Meanwhile, we've got frickin'... how's their Invoker doing? So, Invoker's beating Necro... by a fair bit. Mostly those denies, which is going to deny... Yeah, see, now there's a whole level difference between these two because of the denies. And then at the top, we've got the Juggernaut, who's just crushing it. But let's ignore that. So, you know, maybe this is why we lose the game. But honestly, at this point, I'm going to say that we are losing our lane. The Earthshaker's now at 5 and 3, and our Luna's still at 2 and 1. I'm clearly not enabling our Luna to get enough last hits. Scary.
Last of my kind, but first in this.
Part of me really wants to just keep rewinding over this first 2 minutes and reevaluate over and over and over again. I mean, so you're just you're salving up, so you want to go back so you don't get hit. You're moving that way. I'm pinging like mad, hoping mid comes, and mid is coming, but okay, you're making a bend that way, so you're going to be safe. 4-minute runes are about to come up. Now, I'm not hanging out with Luna, but, you know, I knew it was going to be sort of one-on-one. I gave you the extra tango, because you didn't have any regen going on either. We're going to go here, maybe get a kill. Oh, except he jukes us. We think he goes up, but he doesn't. Phoenix comes in. We got the root. I'm going to auto-attack, nearly die. But be okay. Now we've got a clear lane. Is Luna going to be able to catch up? So Y for net worth, W for last hits. So Jug's going off. Okay, that's not too bad. Our Necro... Oh, our Necro's ahead of the Invoker now. So something turned around there. And sometimes there's like sweet spots and levels where things are going okay. The fact that the Jug's still getting powerful is scary because Juggernauts actually tend to do very well against me. Or to put it another way, I'm really bad against Juggernauts. I'm coming over here, 5-minute bounty ruins, but I'm doing this, I'm at half health. And no, I'm being followed. Although,
no.
At this moment here, now if there's a poor reaction, because the thing is, once I make it to the stairs, I can't really turn around. So the bird's here, and I'm like, yeah, it's fine, I'll go. And there's some moment here where we see each other. It's night, so we don't have huge things. And at some point, I realize it's too late. I can't turn around now. I gotta hope. Like, I wasn't even gonna go for the rune, I think, if this guy wasn't here. It is night. I didn't have the vision he put. I mean, depending on where my camera was, I probably could have seen him going around here from the creeps. Although, he was smart to go this way as opposed to this way. Well, what am I going to do? Not go for bounty? I suppose we could have both gone for bounty. I don't think that would have worked. And meanwhile, at least this way, Luna got some last hits. More auto attacks over here. I'm blocking Luna. This happened a bunch of times with this Luna here. We kept making exactly the same dodges. You know, it's like when you're trying to pass someone on a sidewalk or a hallway or something like that, and you both keep going the same way. And it's stunned by the Mirana here, which I don't think we knew she was here. It still made it a bit of an overextend knowing that Earthshaker was around, but I don't know. Meanwhile, though, our Luna does have more farm than the Earthshaker, which, I mean, you would expect. The only thing they've got going on here is a lot of ganking power. Mirana's still here. Wow, they were really coordinated for that. What are you going to do? Here's me laughing. All right. So I'm coming back on a long walk. Oh, yeah, because my town portal scroll is down. I got wards there. I got mine here. I do like to do this in a lane, you know, give us vision deep into a lane so we can see sort of people lingering. This, I normally put it a little further to the left to get a bit more vision on the river. This over here isn't as useful. I think I'm going to have to be a lot more conscious about putting it sort of roughly here if I'm going to do this. I think I'm just trying to not, you know, make myself too visible here to the creeps. I'm trying, the more I play, and again, this was from the day before the last replay we just watched. So the further back in time, the less relevant they'll be. But the more I play, he's got a 2-level advantage. But, you know, we've got a bunch of people here. Sort of box him in, hit him hard, especially before he gets his level 6. It's like, could you die, please? Thank you. Then the Earthshaker comes back. Pull him back. If he goes and does that, yeah. I'm trying to split. Like, I figured if I ran left, I think we would have been in an angle where he would have been able to hit us both with that, and that could have been really bad. So running right was a little scary, but I think was an example of actually a really good play. And my Tranquil Boots, which makes me happy. So if you don't play Dota, Crystal Maiden has a passive that gives global mana regeneration to her whole team, which is awesome. It's great. Everyone loves a Crystal Maiden, right? And anyway, it means that Crystal Maiden doesn't really have too many mana problems. And so she can go with Tranquil Boots, which just give her some passive healing, which is really nice. So she's basically, once you get to that point, I can more or less stay wherever indefinitely. I was going to say stay in lane indefinitely. The thing is, at that point, it's mostly past the laning phase. We've got Arcane Rune over here, which does get snagged by the Earthshaker, which I don't think is too much of a big deal. You get shorter cooldowns and mana cost. We've got a Necro, who's in a little bit of trouble. I realized that, and I'm like, maybe I can come and make the difference over here. Necro does get the kill there. I've rooted the Earthshaker, which could give Necro a chance to run, but it looks like it's not going to be necessary. So, the root, what I've been doing lately, originally... Oof. Maybe I could have done something a little bit more. I'm being chased by creeps, though. Yeah, I don't know. There might have been something. Originally, so I would always start with Frostbite, and then I would put 2 levels in Arcane Aura, and then I would put 1 into the queue. Now, what I've been doing more recently is I go Frostbite, 1 Arcane Aura, then I do put 1 in Crystal Nova, and then after that, it's just continue to power up Arcane Nova. I'm still only going like with a 1 and a 1, and then Arcane Nova as a max. I'm just getting the Q a little sooner than I was before, and I find that it really helps to get a little bit more damage. The range on the Q is better than the W, and it's got the slow, and it can help some ganks. So here, we're mostly just in run mode, but he's getting the tower aggro. Oh, nice little interchange there. So yeah, I was going to explain. Frostbite is mostly a root. At rank 1, it's a 1.5 second route, and you could keep leveling it up to get more and more, duration on the CC and maybe set up more ganks. It does a fixed 50 damage per half second, so 100 DPS, so the longer the duration, the more damage it'll effectively do on the heroes as well. But generally speaking, it seems like early on, the 1 rank is more than enough to more or less do whatever we need. So it does 150 damage, Slight root, which gets us get off a few auto attacks and harass, and that's pretty good. And yeah, I decided to grab the 1 rank in the Crystal Nova because you can see the cast radius on the Crystal Nova is bigger, and it's an AoE, so it effectively has an even longer range than it looks like over here. You can see, like, Crystal Maiden got nerfed a bunch. Mana cost increased on the Crystal Nova, and the Arcane Aura got nerfed to not give as much mana regen. That being said, CM's still a great character over here. So it seems like it's okay. I do use it every now and again on a creep wave like this, usually to try to get a kill on one thing, and then yeah, they ultied in here and are gonna just obliterate Luna. There we go. Get a W and a Q down, and an ulti. Now, one thing that's a little bit frustrating to me, I wonder if I'd gone the other way, would Luna have been able to move better and not die there? I'm not sure. Oh, tornadoed! You might want to get out of that next time there, Quilly boy. Shit, if I had... No, you had a stick. Not that I knew he had a stick. I wonder if I could have gotten him. I'm not sure. What was I gonna say? No, oh, yeah, the ulti. One of the things is, while the ulti is going off, like, I don't have a really good defined sense of the area. One thing I might want to consider doing is, while I'm ulting, since I'm not moving because it's channeled, I should probably put my mouse over the key so that I can actually see the true radius of the spell. Because sometimes I'm not 100% sure if someone's in or out of it, and if they're out of it, see, this is where I'm more likely to put, I like to put the ward a little bit more. Still gives you good vision of the range, just a little past the tower. If we hold Alt, I mean, I could put it right up to the tower ring, which I do sometimes, so we get more vision behind it. And maybe even that becomes the sweetest spot. It becomes a little risky to do. Speaking of risk, Luna, what you doing here? Alright, slow them down. W the Earthshaker. Luna decides to fight. See, I thought I was saving you, buddy. Although, oh, Earthshaker or Earth Spirit does show up and do something. Does anyone else feel that, like, Luna was saved there? I don't know, man. The next level play. So how are we doing? So Necrophos actually has a lot of farm. I mean, Jug 2, but that's fine. And then, you know, we've got 3 of the top 4. So why do we lose this? Well, here's one of the things at this point. I don't know if I need to put in a pause. The laning phase should be more than over. And this is something that, if you watch, like, Purge and things like that, he talks about it. In the low MMRs, people spend way too long in the laning phase. And here we are, still trying to lane 13 minutes in the game. And then that's crazy. Now, maybe I can... be more assertive and present those arguments a little bit more in the team chat. You know, I'm got way less experience in the game than most of the people I'm playing with. A lot of people I'm playing with have like 1,000 or more games of Dota played on their accounts, and I don't. And certainly not in ranked. You know, ranked I might be getting. You know, I'm probably over 50, but that's probably about it. I don't think I've broken 100. So Perch says that, and one of the concepts in NA meta that I heard discussed during the International, and I was just reminded of by Christopher Odd on Twitter just today, well, today when I'm recording this, I don't know if this will go live today or not, we'll see, was that in the NA meta, at least, and possibly all metas, there's this concept of the dead lane, which is after the sort of initial laning phase goes, both sides actually sort of kind of give up on their safe lanes at that point and just focus on 2 lanes for increased safety. Right? Just try to win 2 lanes at this point. Right? You can't necessarily keep all 3 up. And so this transitional between the pure laning phase to, I'd say, maybe the mid laning phase, where you just focus, and on the Radiant side, the idea is we would prefer to have the top 2 lanes, right? The top lane over here and the mid lane, because that gives us more control over the Roshan area, which is kind of nice. On the other hand, on the Dire side, that gives you access to the really cool, like, triangle camps over here. But honestly, on the Dire side, you might have that regardless. So if as Radiant we're trying to control the bottom 2, there's a lot more distance And that's something I never really think about. The map symmetry is a little bit wonky. The distance from the mid tower here, if you look at the minimap, to the top tower is less than to the bottom tower. Now, down here, this is referred to as the safe lane for the Radiant, and this would be the safe lane for the Dire, mostly because of where the creeps meet. The creeps naturally meet somewhere around here or something like that, on this side of the river. So we are a little bit less gankable. There's all sorts of things with like distance to tower and stuff like that, but I think one of the big things to keep in mind is mostly the river. And it's funny, because way back in the day, the phrase safe lane and suicide lane, I think, were inverted, which is kind of a weird thing historically. But anyway, but see, like, I think this is where it all falls apart for us. We should have totally given this up. Now, I, in a sense, have. But in another sense, all I did is abandon my Luna. I mean, maybe, I can't remember. Maybe there's also some communication. There's, chat is not in the replay. The various emotes show up, but the actual chat that people say I don't think is. All chat might, I don't know. But ally speak doesn't. I don't know what the replay rules are for that. And some of it might be in the replay, but not actually shown in here. There's all kinds of things I'm not sure about. I think ally chat might not be preserved just for a privacy kind of thing. I feel like there might be something like that. Anyway, so, I mean, there might have been all kinds of discussions, or there might not have been. And I guess one of the things I want to look at with these replays is a combination of things. One, I want to look for technical and tactical errors I make myself. Okay? Like, oh, I didn't react quickly enough. Oh, I misclicked. Oh, I'm positioning wrong, or I'm building the wrong item or something like that. But the other thing I want to look at, and this is something that I don't really get to properly do while I'm playing, is greater strategic issues in terms of what is my whole team doing? Now, of course, you know, in these sort of like lower MMR, again, you know, 2.8k to hopefully back up to 3k MMR, the ability to necessarily give feedback to other players is somewhat variable, right, in terms of how much people are willing to listen. And honestly, that's probably true at basically all MMR levels. Some people can be kind of surprised. In MOBA games, people can sometimes be a little bit cranky. I think we're going to fail to kill this thing and it get exploded. And so what would be the tactic used to encourage the right kind of play? And I suppose as long as it's not directed to someone individually, right? Like the trick would be not to say, hey, Luna, you're being stupid and bad to not be with the team. And here's the thing. I don't think that's, you know, I legitimately am not sitting around here blaming Luna at all. Luna's probably a much better player than I am. But as a team, we have to find a way to make a decision as to what we're going to do. And so here we've got the other team is able to better group on us, getting a lot more kills. And that wouldn't be the case if we were focusing our attention up here. And the thing is, if I've literally never heard the term dead lane applied in any of my games at this MMR, again, the only reason that I knew about it at all is because there was a discussion at TI8 that I remember hearing, and I was reminded, and even then I'd sort of forgotten about it until Christopher Odd reminded me on Twitter. They probably don't, because it'd be nice to just say like, okay, let's the safe lane is now dead. Let's focus on the top two or something like that, or the invert for the Dire. Although again, for some reason on the Dire side, I have a much higher win rate. And what I'd be very curious about is, at my MMR, is this sort of win rate differential universal, right? Because that's the thing. Is it a, you know, a 50-50-ish split between Dire and Radiant? Or at my MMR, does the Dire just have a much better time all the time? Or is it just my games? You don't know. The games where you have a captain, but they're not a piece of crap and ragey,
Missing top.
Someone gonna kill that ward? There we go. Do tend to go really well because you tend to be a lot more organized. The problem is sometimes the people who like to be sort of team captains are also giant jerkasses. So they had good vision over. I mean, we knew it was there. Yeah, we don't have enough right click to kill that. I pull back. I'm like, dude, we're gonna die here. I definitely remember this. I'm like, yeah, this is not gonna work out, dude. Like, you should be running. We can't kill this egg quickly enough. I don't know. What's the hit points on the egg? Oh wait. Okay, so it's not hit points. It's attacks to destroy. Yes. But we have a slow ass attack animation. I actually want to rewind this. So we need 8 attacks to destroy it. Oh, and he's... Oh, when he's in his form, he also... It says movement slow. Oh, unable to attack or be attacked. Okay, so he wasn't able to contribute, and I have a fairly slow attack speed. You know, up until level 20, and then I turn into a goddamn Gatling gun, which is amazing. It's one of those things, right? Like, if you get to level 20 as CM, first of all, you've probably already won the game. But then, like, yeah, you just... Because as CM, level 20, you get the 250... Oh, I can't just leave this open. Plus 250 attack speed. And yeah, it's fast. And then by then, it's usually at the point where I've probably got my Ags, so I've got some extra int for auto attack damage, and I can clear waves like crazy. I can do decent damage, and again, this is usually in the game that's clearly already won, but a couple of times I've actually picked up Daedalus just to add tons of extra damage and stuff, and it's like, as CM, you're like landing crits for like 1,000 damage and shit, and you're like, oh, this feels good, and fast, like whack, 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 whack. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. This is 40 minutes. I just thought we were gonna be about 30 minutes. We got another temp DC. It's not a rage quit. He's back in a second, but I think he had a DC earlier in the game too. And you can see here our Necrophos still has tons of net worth, but other than that, everyone's pulling ahead. And yeah, I think like there's some little issues early on. And these things snowball, right? A tiny mistake early on snowballs into a larger thing over time, because small advantages turn into bigger advantages. And again, I could, show you one of the winning matches where I did really well and set up tons of ganks and just really delivered and, moved in a really efficient manner. But what would be the point? What would be the point? I want to analyze games where you lost, to know why we lost. So, thank you very much for watching. For all I know, this will be the only one of these videos I ever make, or this is going to be the first of 100 different videos that I do daily from now on. I don't know. We will see and play it by ear. Certainly, I'm looking for lots of feedback in the chat. That's the whole thing. If you do have a specific comment, and there's like a timestamp you can reference, that would be good. I should have said this from the beginning, because now people have already left all their damn comments, and I'm gonna have no real... I'm like, what are you talking about? When was that? I don't know what you mean. Yeah. I'm trying to use some websites like DOTA Buff and GoSu.ai. I've watched some of the Purge videos, in particular the Purge Teaches Day 9 videos I found incredibly useful to learn a bunch of things and refresh a bunch of things. And a lot of it is just, there's still, while I sort of have been playing Dota for a long time, again, going back to the Warcraft 3 days, way back when, with Dota All-Stars and whatnot. And there were a bunch of other things, like, even back then, there were a few sort of Dota-likes in a way. I mean, in a sense, it's, the Dota actually goes back to a StarCraft mod for StarCraft 1. Was it AOS? I don't even remember what it stands for. Anyway, so, it's been around for a while. But in another sense, I'm still completely new to the game. Like, I don't have, like, the cost of all the items memorized. I don't have what the stats of each item gives you memorized. And what the implication of, like, okay, well, it gives me 10 agility. What does that convert to in terms of armor and auto attack speed and things like that, right? Now, being a support, And I love playing support, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it sucks a little bit because at lower MMRs, yeah, see, they had vision over us the entire time over here. At lower MMRs, you don't feel like you have a lot of control over your own destiny, right? As a support, in a sense. Especially if I'm playing a support. Wow. Yeah, this is us getting completely obliterated. Well, no, there we go. I was gonna say, we're getting completely obliterated over here, right? Like, being in spectator mode, like, wow, you can see this gank coming a mile away. But without it, right? They were in Viz. We don't know they have a ward here. And honestly, this is not somewhere I counter ward very often. Oh, one of the things I think is I buy way too many sentries. I'm too obsessed with trying to counter ward. Like obs wards, yes, but sentries, I think I need to peel back on buying them a little bit too much. I'm always like, well, I'm position 5, it's my job. Yeah, but you need a couple items. I mean, give yourself a break, man. Anyway. Oh. Thanks for watching, and thank you for hopefully the very kind and thoughtful advice, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.